Welcome, everybody. And let's just take a moment to ground and become present in our bodies, remembering that we are, was it Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young? We are all stardust. And so that we all have an innate connection with the cosmos. And it's not something that is unknowable or unknown to us. So I just invite you to take a moment to feel the weight of your body, just sort of softening, relaxing into whatever you're sitting on, your chair, your couch. And if your legs are crossed, I invite you to uncross them and feet flat on the floor. And taking a deep, clearing breath in, holding that for a second, and then exhaling it out, releasing any tension, any stuff from the past 11 months where we were kind of squeezed and it was really important to find where we were butting against things. So this next inhale, I invite you to open your arms as you breathe in fully, clarity, invitation from the cosmos. And as you exhale, exhaling out sadness, fatigue, judgments. And just do that a few times at your own pace. And then this final inhale, let's do this together. It's a very cool inhale. And when you inhale in, I want you to feel your awareness go out to the outermost stars in the cosmos. Hold the inhale and soak in the love of the entire universe. And as you exhale, draw that love back in to your heart center. And one more time, inhale, go out to the farthest reaches of the cosmos. And sense, feel the love. And as you exhale, draw that love back in to the cosmos of your inner being. And just right now, I invite you to soften each and every cell so that you can start to feel the energies within and around you. We're right now moving from Samhain, from that time of Scorpio, of the time of descending into the underworld, the time of that great gateway of death and regeneration. And we're now coming into a place, starting to move towards the winter solstice, time of dreaming, time of cosmic intelligence that we are all connected into. And just taking the time to relax into the energy of what is for you. And opening your intuitive body. Coming into connection with the frequency of the stars, the sun and moon, the planet Earth, and the powerful and the beautiful and the unique constellations of your own being. As Martha Graham once said, there is only one of you in all time. There is only one of you in all time. feeling this creative constellation that is you, that is a creation or a co-creation of the cosmic intelligence and desire and joy and love to create together where we are now. So we are right now coming out of this intense energy of Scorpio. And, we've also had throughout this year, Pluto in Capricorn. It kind of pulled apart all of our existing beliefs, existing ways of doing things. We all had and we all have systems and things in place that make things doable or make the infinite livable in our finite beings. And, it took down in the outer world, governments, different things are very intense right now as the old belief systems and all ways of being are starting to come apart. And as when things come apart, when there's a deconstruction, there is this incredible opportunity of creating a new reality, creating a new system, creating a new way of being. As one of my shamanic teachers, Don Miguel, used to say, unsticking your point of view from where it's stuck so that it starts to have freedom of movement. And I feel like we're at that kind of a conjunction point. Neptune is in Pisces right now, and it is sextile or it is in a relationship with Pluto in Capricorn. And this kind of relationship creates an energetic field right now that is more conducive to the paranormal, the supernatural, the psychic. So you might feel that this sensitivity is increased within you and in the work that you do, in the people that you meet, and in the situations that you are faced with. Or it is also an invitation that if you are trying to mentally analyze things that you feel stuck with at this time, to perhaps relax, release, and shift a little bit more into your right brain. And one of the ways of shifting into your more psychic, intuitive self always is stuff like dancing, drumming, singing, running around in nature, yelling, hugging your dog, playing with your kitty cat, and also divination. Stuff like pendulums or cards. These are really great tools to have at this time to really support you in your decision making. And perhaps it might be a good idea to kind of hold off a little bit on concrete decision making, go a little bit more into visioning and dreaming at this time. Neptune stationed direct, so Neptune is a very far out planet. And when planets go from going backwards, and this is only when, seen from the Earth, planets don't actually go backwards, but seen from the Earth, because of the orbit of the Earth on its axis and around the sun, and because of where the planets are, sometimes they look like they're traveling backwards through the sky. And this is what we call a retrograde. So Neptune is now going direct. And when it's like a huge tanker that's turning when planets, so that's why we call it stationing, and it's going to go direct again. And that happened a couple of days ago. And you'll probably be feeling an effect of this. So the negative side of Neptune is delusions and confusion, murkiness. So you might be feeling a little bit confused about how things are. But the positive side of Neptune, and especially in Pisces, which it is the ruler of in the modern astrology, it's that when there's a drilling down of a big planet at stations, it really opens this potentiality of the planet itself and the house that it's in at the moment. It's in Pisces. And that is, it's a great time for creativity and dreaming. And again, this whole thing of intuition, tuning into art. So perhaps as you are looking into the things that you're creating in your business, in your life at this time, you know, singing, drumming, listening to inspirational music, writing poetry or reading poetry, dancing, doing finger painting with your kids. I love finger painting. Something that is tactile and that enables you to really expand that side of yourself. Because right now, with Neptune in Pisces, there is a really great yearning for more connectivity with your spiritual, divine, unconditional love. There's a movement that is moving us more and more towards a much more divine, connected way of being. You know, we see a rise of more and more women, but also men and all the different genders being called to come towards connection with a much bigger sense of spirituality. You know, there's a real rise in the path of love of Mary Magdalene. There's a lot of interest in goddess work. There's a lot of interest in healing work. And you're probably feeling that through your clients and also through yourself. And to really trust that that kind of messaging is really appropriate. It can go through at this, as we move into this new field, this new movement and information coming in from the galactic center, coming in from the galactic sun into our sun. The solar flare activity in our sun has been really active. It's really shifting the magnetic waves on our planet and within ourselves. So I would say really trust this opening and this yearning towards a deeper connection within yourself. And if you felt like you had to rein yourself in, perhaps experiment a little bit of coming into a language and a way of being that is much more truer to where you are being called, to your spiritual center, your shamanic center, your priestess center. And to ground that messaging in practical ways. Yesterday, Jupiter in Taurus trined Mercury in Capricorn. And this is a really positive aspect where your thinking is going to be expanded, but also grounded in practicality. Use this time to connect with the practical sides of how you can then message this out. And I was saying about using December and this time as a dreaming time because you're going to practice this practicality. But Mercury is going to go into a wonky state a bit. It's going to turn retrograde on the 12th, which is the day of the new moon. Lots of things happening on the new moon. But Mercury will go retrograde, which means it's going to come back over this expansive moment that you're having right now with Jupiter and Mercury. It's a really great relationship of expansion of your mind and how to ground that in practicality. When it goes retrograde, retrograding planets tend to make us go inward. So you can kind of look at this from a different perspective. Is what I am thinking, is what I want to communicate, is this really the way of expansion that I really want? So it's a really good way of revising, looking at things. Mercury will be going retrograde. It'll go direct again at the beginning of the year, but it's going to be doing a lot of different things in between, and it gets to be pretty much in the clear. Let me see. Around the 19th of January. It's going to go back over Jupiter, trine Mercury around the 19th of January. And then it's going to burst forth into a really clear place. So, use the time to really clarify your messaging, clarify your expansion. Let's see. Well, Saturn's also been sitting in Pisces. Most of the planets, except Uranus, is going to be going direct at the beginning in January. So it's going to be a time of great clarity. Saturn is sitting in Pisces. Now, Saturn is a planet of restrictions and rules and regulations. It's a hard master, but also a really great teacher. It teaches us through restrictions and difficulty and challenges. But Saturn in Pisces is going to help us dissolve our density, dissolve the sense of separation and division that we might have. So we can also use that if there is a way of thinking, a way of being that you have in the way that you are generating your business, or you're thinking about how you can approach things. Let yourself be guided by this movement towards less density, less separation. And we'll kind of do an exercise. I'm hoping we can do that. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Time flies. All right. As we move through this. Now, this new moon is on the 12th. It's a very powerful new moon. Now, a new moon is a time of seeding. It's the dark of the moon. It's a wonderful time to go into the ground and plant the seed. And time of going inward. So this new moon is in Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is a house. It's the archer. Sagittarius energy is incredibly expansive, and it is courageous and idealistic, full of energy, and really interested in higher consciousness and discovery and adventure. It's also about personal freedom and about justice. So as the sun and moon come into conjunction, as they sit on top of each other, creating this moment of a new birthing, of the new cycle of the moon, of your inner awareness, of your consciousness. It's a really good time. And also Mars is right there behind us. So it's a really, you've got a lot of energy. Sagittarius is mutable fire. And mutable fire means it's very malleable. It's a fire of transformation. You can put into the fire things that you've been struggling with, things that got squeezed, things that weren't working anymore that you saw throughout this past year, and really put it through the fire of Sagittarius, the fire of great intention to shift and change, to transmute, to transform. how do you want to transform this? And as I said, trust your intuition at this time. Your mind is going to want to do a lot of different dances. Trust your intuition. Do some divination work to find what it is that wants to be transmuted. Dream big, dream big. This new moon is square Neptune in Pisces. So again, as you dream big, the vision for a much more divinely spiritual future, what can we do that is not only for ourselves, but it's also for the common good, for the highest good of all. I know that many women who come into this business, yes, we want to create a viable business, a viable way of living that sustains us. And also, I know that many of you are really wanting to see the shift in the world, a shift. And that's also why you are out there doing this work, to be able to shift the consciousness of your clients for a higher common good, to shift the consciousness around money, to shift the consciousness around power and sustainability, to be able to hold that vision. So the question also is what I am sharing right now raising the frequency? Is it raising the frequency? Because Saturn in Pisces is also going to be asking you not only about dissolving the boundaries, but also asking you, how are you going to be bringing in spiritual discipline, integrity, and responsibility? And how do we embed this practice into a daily routine? So even as we are working with this business, your own business, you are correct and you are on the right track, knowing that the business that you are creating is also raising the frequency, raising the common ground that we are all calling reality. We can do this because this is what we're moving into. Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius on January 20th. It's going to be in Aquarius for about 10 months, coming back into Capricorn again, but it's going to shift into Aquarius for 20 some years to come. It's a new era. And the Aquarian energy, it's the energy of air. Things are going to move very, very fast in 2024. It's the air energy. But it's also about new technology, new ways of being, and it asks the question of us all. Will we have enough spiritual connection and discipline and the raising of the common good to be able to be masters of our own creation, of our own destiny? And there's a lot of freedom in our choices. The full moon in Cancer. Okay, so before that, we'll have the winter solstice on the 21st and the 22nd of December, when the sun enters Capricorn. It's a beautiful time to really sense the rebirth of the sun. On the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, right around there, the sun is going to be static, meaning it's going to rise every single day at the same point of the horizon. And it's a time of profound stillness. And the sun starts to rise again starts to move each day further northward, the place where it rises, moving towards the equinox. And it's a really wonderful time to come into a quiet space of your own. And again, to hold within that stillness your intention of what you are wanting to manifest out into the world. We'll come into the full moon on the 26th of December. The full moon is going to be in Cancer. It'll be a Capricorn sun, Cancer moon. It's a very emotional moon. It's going to want to really call you home. Where is home for you? What is home for you? You know, there's a very strong mother energy in Cancer. It's also water. So when we look at the planets and the movement at this time, it feels to me like a lot of water and fire. Water of Pisces and the fire of Sagittarius. These are both mutable signs, both malleable, changeable signs. And water is the planet that we are on. We are made of water. There's so much studies being done that's about water and the vibration of water. There has been a study done that if you take a sunflower seed and you drop it into water, and then you take a bit of that water and you freeze it, and you look at what the frozen pattern of that drop of water has made where the sunflower seed has been dropped into, there is a shape of a sunflower in that crystalline formation. What you feel and think matters because we are water. We are 75% water. Some people say when you take the fluids in all of the cells, we are 95% water. Your vibrational frequency really matters. And at this time, as you come into this huge cosmic movement of the sun and moon in Sagittarius, the movement of these planets that are huge planets that are in these watery signs, coming into this place of sacred sovereignty within yourself with your water. As you vision the work that you are wanting to put out into the world, you know, feel into that frequency and vibration. So I think that is what I would like to stop here. And let me, hang on just a second. Let's just take a breath. That's a lot of stuff. Let's just take a breath together. Okay. And should I come? And I invite you to feel into your internal waters at this time. Okay. You can have your eyes open or closed. Feel into your internal waters. And as if you could, start to sense the connection of your internal ocean, which is in your womb. For the women, in your womb, your internal ocean. And feeling the energy of this powerful planet, Neptune, way, way out there, connecting with the waters of your womb as if you could. Breathe with it. Sensing into the energy of this powerful ancient planet Neptune. Neptune was the god of the ocean, the deep sea. You are the sovereign queen of your own ocean. Letting at this moment your intuitive center in your womb start to guide you. What is your dreaming? What is your dreaming opening into? That's it. And let your entire being soften just a little bit more. Water is an element that can shift from vapor to liquid to solid. At this time, in the mutable state, let it be very fluid. Places that you may have felt stuck in, places that felt really hard, that challenged you, that you try to fight back. Sense these places now with the gentle, fluid energy and power of water. Oceans and rivers, magical springs and underground waterways. These are the energies that carve the energetic flow in the earth and within you. And in this moment, I invite you to expand even further out. Touch the outer edges of the ocean of this cosmos. Reach out further than you have ever reached out and receive guidance and wisdom. Because you are part of this. You are not separate, but one. And the reality that you thought was real is only one fractal of an immensely beautiful, infinite field of potentiality, and you can drive it in any direction you choose. And I invite you to slowly flow back towards that central stream, to the central lake of your own womb, knowing that your cosmic womb water and your womb water are intimately connected, drawing your energy field back in, reassembling reassembling as you in a new way, somehow. And if there are any insights that came through, just take a moment and jot them down if you like. Maybe we'll take 3 minutes. Just jot them down. Good, and coming back. Good. I feel that with everything that's happening in the stars, it's really an amazing time to trust your instincts and connect with it, and to really harness your mind to follow your instinct. Let the mind do the work that it knows how to do. But really, this is a time for feminine divine wisdom to be on the rise. And Neptune might be a Greek god, but in my soul mind, Neptune is a beautiful sea goddess full of this, seaweed hair and whales and dolphins leaping with her, to really bring that kind of joyful, beautiful self-care and joy and love into the work that you're doing. It's really there to support you in what you are trying to manifest. So blessed be. Thank you so much.